Hey guys, rxlyaT here, and today we're back with another Division video. And of course it's Saturday, so that means it's vendor reset time. If you're new around here, you probably don't know the format of these vendor resets, but I always start down in the terminal. We go through the blueprints, the special equipments vendor, and then we go upstairs to the advanced weaponry vendor and take it from there. So like I said, let's start with the blueprints this week. So as you can see, it doesn't show any weapon blueprint. That's because I bought these in a previous week. This week is the classic AK-47 as well as the surplus SVD blueprint. As well as that, we have a stamina knee pads, a firearms vest, a flash hider, a heavy magazine spring, and obviously a firearms gear mod. So remember guys, it's the classic AK-47 and the surplus SVD blueprint. So if you didn't know, the exotics don't actually change, however the talents on the exotics do re-roll. So the Pecan this week rolled with Vicious and Capable, the Historian with Unforgiving and Disciplined, the Cassidy with Responsive and Fierce. I would actually recommend picking this one up if you want to do dual Cassidys with Lone Star, because Responsive on a shotgun is definitely a must-have. So if you're going to pick up one thing this week, I'd think about the Cassidy. As well as that, the Centurion rolled with Expert and Determined, and the Liberator rolled with Prepared, Deadly and Dominant. As well as that, we actually have a nice relentless bag here. The stamina is rolled at max at 1272. It's got crit hit damage and ammo capacity here. Roll the major attribute for what you want, or roll for a different main stat. But I definitely think about rolling the major attribute to either skill power or health here. Now on our way up to the advanced weaponry vendor inside the base of operations. Here we have an M45A1 rolled with Expert and Brutal, an MP7 with Hurried, Self-Preserved and Commanding, a G36 enhanced with Unforgiven, Talented and Focused, a Marine Super 90 with Brutal, Trained and Dominant, a classic M1A with Brutal and Toxic along with Skilled, a custom L86A2 with Prepared, Self-Preserved and Meticulous. So that's the base of operations covered. We're now going to have a look at some gear that is around the world, and after that we'll have a look for some weapons. The only bit of gear I could actually find this week was in the DZ09 safe house. Here we have a pretty nice Banshee holster. The firearms and the stamina are fairly high. The electronics however is on the lower side. But with it having skill haste already rolled on it, I definitely recommend maxing out the electronics roll here, and you've got yourself a almost god rolled Banshee Shadow holster. Like I said, this was in the DZ09 safe house. The first weapon this week is in 5th Avenue DZ checkpoint. Here we have a tactical SASG-12. The damage roll is fairly high. It's got Determined, Swift and Responsive on it. Here I'd probably recommend rolling Determined off for something like Competent, or if you want to go down the PvE route, possibly something like Destructive. But like I said, this was in DZ 5th Avenue Street checkpoint. At Park Avenue Dark Zone checkpoint, we have an MP7 with Competent, Responsive and Hurried. Fully recommend buying this. Although the MP7 isn't as great as it used to be, now I'm not saying it's terrible, the talents on this are near perfect. Just roll off Hurried for whatever you wish, whether that's Deadly or even Brutal. So now we're looking at some gear mods around the world, and we're starting off in DZ04 Safe Room. This really is the only one I recommend you buying this week. It's a first aid self-heal with a max roll of 6%. These are perfect for any build you use. If you're a new player and you're slightly confused with the mods, if you come across one of these, just make sure you buy it. But like I said, this was in DZ04 Safe Room. Another gear mod that I actually found was this skill power gear mod. This is back in the boo, down in the special equipments vendor. It's got a really high electronics roll at 253, and the major attribute, like I've already said, is skill power. So if you're after one of these for a pure electronics build, make sure you pick up a couple of these. Now we're going to see if there's any weapon attachments. Believe it or not, that's actually a really nice compensator here. Major attributes are stability, crit hit chance and crit hit damage. Not a bad one, recommend picking it up if you've got the Phoenix credits. Still in the base of operations, believe it or not, at the advanced weaponry vendor this time, that's a VX1 scope here. It's got 16.5 headshot damage, 4% crit damage and 3% crit hit chance. I'm actually going to buy a couple of these because I like sometimes speccing my builds into headshot damage, and this is definitely the sight you'd need for that build. But guys, that's going to wrap it up for this week. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you are new around here and want to stay up to date with all of the things to Division, then please make sure to subscribe. But if you enjoyed this video, then let me know either by clicking that like button or by leaving a comment. But guys, as always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all soon. Bye bye.